Hey everybody, we're talking about sexual pleasure disparity and why it can be so hard and challenging to experience sexual pleasure. I'm Dr. Diane, your Libido Doc. Welcome back to my channel. So this is a really important conversation and why there can be sexual pleasure disparity, why there can be a lack of pleasure known as anhedonia, can be for a lot of different reasons. Many people I talk to have a similar type of upbringing that I did around sexuality, which was that masturbation was bad and touching yourself was bad, and that sex was something that should just largely be done within the context of a marital unit. And with that, there can be a lot of sexual shaming, and there can be a lot of subtle sexual shaming around simple things like enjoying pleasure, enjoying masturbation, enjoying just feeling good. So many people have been shamed for their desires, their passion, their pleasure, their ability to express themselves in a sexual, healthy way. There's been a lot of shame around healthy sexuality. And so because of that, that can really start to put us, when we are thinking about pleasure and we're thinking about sexuality, that can put our system into this fight or flight. That can put our system into this kind of sympathetic fight or flight nervous system standpoint where we can't access pleasure because our body feels shame, feels all these different things. And so we're in survival mode around our sexuality. So that's a really important thing to understand. Now, of course, if there's any sort of trauma, that can be a huge reason for not enjoying pleasure. And that's also, we're talking to somebody that is trained in trauma psychotherapy to help with that. But another thing can be to dopamine issues. So for example, if we are in a situation where we have our push notifications on our phone and we're constantly having people ping us and text us and notifications, and we're on our phone, we get a lot of screen time, what's happening is with everything that happens there, we're getting a hit of dopamine. And dopamine, when we're constantly inundated with that much dopamine is a huge, huge hormone for driving our desire. And when we get that constant stream of dopamine throughout our day due to all of our habits, all the continual notifications, what winds up happening for many people is their body becomes less responsive to dopamine. And when that happens, our drive towards pleasure goes down. So it's very common in relationships and long-term relationships that there's periods where one person wants sex more than another. It's common in short-term relationships as well, but it's particularly common in long-term relationships. And there's two different ways of looking at that. One could be there for one party, could there be something driving this lack of desire? Could it be this dopamine overload? Could it be numbness? Could it be this hidden shame? Could it be hormone imbalances, circulation imbalances, the movement into perimenopause and menopause for women, or to andropause for men, which is when the men's hormones start to change? So any of those things could be driving it for sure. But another thing always, if we're talking about a sexual disparity between couples, that I find to be really helpful is talking to your partner about what sexuality provides for them, what's the value of it. And oftentimes when we do this, we find that it's a release, it's closeness, it's connection, it's stress relief, it's feeling happy, it's feeling relaxed, it's feeling joy, it's feeling connected to their partner, so many different things like that. And usually if we get to the why, then we often find that we're actually less in a disparity situation than we realize, that we oftentimes want many of those types of similar emotions, right? So then we can kind of almost workshop it backwards to say, okay, well, if sex provides that for one partner, how does the other partner get those same things? And maybe that's through, from an intimacy standpoint, maybe that's through more foreplay, maybe that's through more kissing, maybe that's through more massage, maybe that's through more touch. But if we actually break it down, what I usually find is that for most people, they're actually closer than they think. There just needs to be some tweaks in how we're going about it so that everybody can feel all those feelings they're looking to experience within the context of their partnership. So I hope that made sense. Again, please do leave comments and questions on this stuff. It helps me make the best and most useful content for you guys. Thanks again for your support of my channel. Please do subscribe so you get all the best information that I put out. And I'll see you real soon.